Shu Qian, at 55, I carry my thermos, close my laptop, and clock out at 5:30 sharp.
The next day, a new CFO came and called me out in front of everyone. Lin Choa, veteran employees like you are just a sunk cost to this company. I almost couldn't help but laugh and nodded sincerely. Understood, Director. Shu Qian was parachuted into the company yesterday. Word is, the boss went on a tour of Europe, got brainwashed by foreign management theories, and spent a fortune to poach this elite returnee from a prestigious UK university. A new official brings new rules, and her first fire burned right through our finance department. At yesterday afternoon's department meeting, she stood with her arms crossed, her eyes cold as she scanned us. I know how you work before, but from today on, the old rules are scrapped. I only look at data, not seniority, especially those old employees who coast along just because they're older. Her gaze fell contemptuously on my thermos. No one is allowed to retire on the job in my team.
My name is Lin Chua, 55 years old. I've been doing the finance work with the boss since the company was just a tiny 3-person workshop. Over 28 years, I built the company's entire financial structure with my own hands. I've weathered countless tax inspections and audits without a single mistake. I have only 5 days left before I officially retire. The boss told me half a month ago that once I finished my final shift, he'd throw me a grand farewell party. I originally didn't want to bicker with this hot-headed young woman. When 5:30 struck, the old alarm clock on my desk rang on time. As usual, I locked the ledgers in the safe, turned off the lights, and my husband's message popped up. Braised pork is ready. It's raining outside. Take an umbrella. I picked up my bag and stood up from my seat.
Lin Choa, where do you think you're going?
Going home, of course. Director Shu, it's 5:30. She marched over, her high heels clicking thunderously on the floor.
Did you not hear what I just said in the meeting? Everyone stay tonight and redo all the accounts from the past 3 years according to my model. No one is allowed to leave before 9. Director Shu, my daily work is already finished. If you need overtime, please go through the company's formal overtime approval process. Hey, Vance, you're talking to me about process? I am the process of this finance department. If I don't let you leave, you can't leave.
She sneered. I ignored him and walked straight to the clock-in machine. Beep. Clock unsuccessful. Under Shu Qian's furious gaze, I pushed open the glass door and stepped into the rain. The next morning, I sensed the atmosphere was off the moment I arrived. Colleagues who usually greeted me warmly were avoiding my gaze, and the young accountant from the finance department was gloating at me. I opened my computer, and an all-staff email popped up on the internal messaging system. The sender was Shu Qian.
Employee Lin Choa disregards departmental discipline, openly defies superiors, refuses reasonable work assignments, and has a perfunctory work attitude. She is hereby officially reprimanded and docked all monthly performance pay.
Attached below were screenshots from the group chat, tagging me.
Lin Choa, the company pays you to create value, not to act like a diva. If you lack the drive, make room for the young ones.
Lily was the first to reply, supporting Director Shu. The team needs this wolf warrior culture. We can't let one bad apple spoil the whole bunch. Soon, several supervisors who usually like to butter her up chimed in.
Director Shu is right. We firmly support the company's reform.
I picked up my thermos and took a sip of hot tea. I calmly watched the characters dancing on the screen. Shu Qian's secretary came over to call me.
Lin, Director Shu wants to see you in her office.
I pushed open the door. Shu Qian was sitting in her large executive chair, looking down and filing her nails. Seeing me enter, she didn't even look up.
You saw the email, right?
I saw it. I pulled out a chair and sat down.
This is the price of your insubordination. I checked your file. You don't even have a CPA. Yet you've dared to linger in the finance department for so many years.
I smiled. Director Shu, the company's early accounts weren't billed on certificates. They were reconciled one transaction at a time.
Don't try those old tricks on me. I'm giving you 2 choices now. Either start working overtime honestly tonight to digitize all paper vouchers from the past 5 years into my new system, or you write a resignation letter yourself.
And what if I choose neither? I stared at her. She let out a cold laugh.
Do you really think the company can't function without you? Employees like you are a cancer to this company. If you don't leave voluntarily, I'll go through the termination process and fire you for gross misconduct. You won't get a single penny in severance. Watching her insufferable attitude, I nodded sincerely. Fine, Director Shu. Please hurry. I'm afraid it won't hit my account before I retire. She froze, probably never having seen someone so happy to be fired. What do you mean by that? I stood up. It means nothing. I'm just waiting for your notice of termination. Shu Qian was clearly provoked by my attitude. She thought I was bluffing. As soon as work started in the afternoon, she brought Li Li to my desk.
Lin Chiwa, since you don't want to work here anymore, hand over your duties now. Shu Qian said, looking down at me condescendingly. Hand over the company's online banking tokens, tax security keys, and all the registered bank stamps. I stopped my mouse. Director Shu, according to the company's financial regulations, the transfer of core tokens and stamps requires the big boss's personal signature and must be done under the supervision of the internal audit department. Are you telling me how to do my job? Shu Qian curled his lip in disdain. I am the financial director. I run this entire department. The boss is abroad on a business trip. We don't need to bother him with such trifles.
Lily chimed in sarcastically from the side. Lin, if the director tells you to hand them over, just do it. You've hogged these things for so many
have some shady deficits in the books you're afraid Director Shu will uncover? As soon as she said this, my colleagues who had been eavesdropping began whispering. I looked at Lily. Xiaoli, you can eat whatever you want, but you can't just say whatever you want. Spreading rumors carries legal consequences. Lily shrank her neck under my gaze, but she immediately puffed out her chest again, emboldened by Shu Qian's presence.
Who's spreading rumors? If you've got nothing to hide, why are you clinging to those tokens?
Shu Qian, with a cold face, reached his hand directly in front of me.
Lin Jiwa, as financial director, I order you to hand over all the security keys immediately, or I will call the police and report you for embezzlement. She emphasized the word embezzlement heavily. I looked at her quietly for a few seconds. Fine. I took a file bag out of the safe. Inside were 3 online banking tokens, 2 tax security keys. These I can hand over to you. I pointed to the file bag. But the bank stamp cards are in a safe deposit box, and it requires 2 people to be present to retrieve them. Shu Qian snatched the file bag. She looked at me as if I were a bumpkin out of touch with the times, then turned and handed the file bag to Li. What year is this, and you're still talking about stamp cards? My new system is fully digitized for approvals. All you need is a USB drive. Plug it into the new system, and by this afternoon, we'll have paid all the suppliers and employee salaries. Let's show them what real corporate efficiency looks like.
I watched her confident back as he walked away, and kindly offered a reminder. Director Shu, payday isn't until the 15th, tomorrow. Plus, the company's corporate account is an older one with specific risk control settings. Shut your mouth. Don't try to gross me out with that old, rotten, experienced nonsense of yours. My system is integrated with the world's most advanced algorithms. Its risk control is 10,000 times better than your manual brain. The handover is done. You can pack your things and get out now. Your termination notice will be mailed directly to your home by HR.
Shu Qian was a man of his word. Less than an hour later, a mass email from the HR department was sent to the entire company, notifying them of the termination of Lin Chou's employment contract. The reason stated was incredibly high-sounding: refusal to obey management, talking back to superiors, and serious violation of company rules and regulations. Based on Article 15 of the Employee Handbook, she was dismissed without compensation.
Seriously? Isn't Lin a veteran employee? What if she is a veteran employee? Director Shu is a returnee who values efficiency. Who told you not to work overtime? Killing the chicken to scare the monkeys? Who will dare to leave on time from now on?
Li jumped up and down in the department group. Good riddance. The toxicity has finally been cleared out. The air in the finance department is finally fresh. Shu Qian immediately followed up by sending a red envelope.
Thanks for your hard work, everyone. The new system is alive. We'll finish all this month's payments this afternoon. Dinner is on me tonight to celebrate. I didn't leave the group. I calmly packed up the personal items from the workstation, where I had spent 28 years. There wasn't actually much. A thermos, a seat cushion, and a few potted plants. The young HR girl walked over, trembling, holding a document.
Auntie Lin, this is your termination notice. Director Shu asked you to sign it.
I took the pen and, without a moment's hesitation, scribbled my name. After signing, I pulled out my phone to take a clear photo to save.
Auntie Lin, please don't be too sad.
The young HR girl said, unable to bear it. I'm not sad. I'm actually quite happy.
Carrying my box, I walked to the entrance of the finance department. Shu Qian was leaning against the doorframe, holding a cup of coffee, looking at me triumphantly. Lin Chou, once you leave this company, someone of your age will only be fit to be a cashier at a supermarket. This is the price you pay for being inflexible. I stopped in my tracks, turned back to look at him, and said, Director Shu, I've already signed my resignation. The legal process is already in effect. I hope you won't be begging me to come back by this time tomorrow. I said while Shu looked at me as if he had just heard the biggest joke in the world. Beg you? Have you lost your mind? Get out of here right now. I smiled, turned around, and walked out of the company doors. The rain had stopped outside, and the air was crisp and clear.
I pulled out my phone and opened the calendar. 4 days left until my statutory retirement age of 55. Less than 20 hours until the company's unmissable monthly payday. That outdated risk control system, the one where large transfers require a dynamic authenticator that only I know about, was about to trigger. Humming a tune, I walked toward the nearest labor arbitration commission. By 10 a.m. the next day, I was sitting at home peeling an apple for my dad, when my phone on the table suddenly buzzed like crazy, with Xiaoli flashing on the screen. I didn't answer, letting it ring until it cut off automatically. Soon came the second call, then the third. Right after that, the company's main finance department group chat started blowing up with messages. The first to lash out was the sales director.
Director Shu, what's going on? Several major suppliers are calling to chew us out. They said the payments promised yesterday not only failed to arrive today, but the company's payment account is now showing as abnormal.
The employees are all asking if the 15th, and payroll hasn't been sent. A few who have mortgages to pay are already panicking.
Director Shu waited several minutes before replying, his tone still trying to feign calm. The system is currently undergoing a handover, and there's a delay from the bank side. Please be patient. It will arrive this afternoon. I snorted at the message. A delay?